It's that time of year again, allergy season. WFMY News 2's meteorologist Christian Morgan shares what's tickling your nose right now with an allergen forecast.
Well, maybe you're feeling it, especially if tree pollen is what gets you going in the spring. We've been warm, sort of a fake spring that we've had going on over the last several weeks. Remember, we were in the 70s just a couple days ago, and even though we're cooling down this weekend, we're going to get right back to spring heading into next week. You've probably even seen a few trees and plants blooming across the triad. So let me show you how our tree pollen typically goes. It's the first thing to really get going when we go into the springtime. So if tree pollen really gets your allergies going, you're probably already feeling that. Usually we start to see that medium to high pollen concentration as we go toward the middle of March and especially toward April. We're already seeing high pollen concentration are already 3 to 4 weeks early across the Piedmont, just because simply for the fact we've been so warm. Even with some colder air on the way this weekend and of course some rain today sort of knocking some of the pollen down, our pollen is in the high category right now, but it will likely stay in the moderate category as we go throughout the weekend. Of course, the cooler weather, the rain helping to tamp that down some. But as we head into next week, we start to warm up again. We're back in the 60s and eventually the 70s by the middle and late end of next week. The pollen will start to crank right back up again. So it's already time to start taking the allergy medicine.
If your allergies have you feeling bad, you don't just have to suffer. Cone Health Allergy Immunology Dr. Joel Gallagher says there are some things you can do.
Avoiding exposure as much as you can is super important. We love to be outdoors during this time of the year, especially with these warm days that are teasing us. But coming inside, changing your clothes, taking showers after you've gone on a long hike, all of those things can certainly decrease your pollen exposure. Well, certainly the recommendation is to try some over-the-counter antihistamines. We're very fortunate to have some really good options that you can just get over the counter without a prescription. Things like Zyrtec or Xyzal or Allegra are all excellent options.
If you find that your allergy medication is not working, Dr. Gallagher says your best option may be what's on sale.
I do warn my patients that if they feel that it becomes less effective, then to just go ahead and switch every 2 to 3 months. Just get whatever is on sale that time that you go to the drugstore, essentially.
And if you're not used to experiencing allergy symptoms this time of year, Dr. Gallagher says there's a reason for that.
Our allergy season is, I was looking back on this today, it's about a week ahead of schedule compared to where it was last year. That's definitely a trend. That's been noted for the last 10 years. Allergy season gets a few days longer each year.
And that trend can be traced back to climate change. Caitlin McGrath shares why experts believe a longer allergy season is one of the health-related impacts of climate change.
You're so much healthier than you were last week. You did not feel good.
Mickey Carlisle suffers from allergies that now seem to flare up year-round.
It's a nonstop cough. It's almost choking sometimes, and every now and again they do actually vomit.
Mickey's grandmother and guardian moved to Alexandria in 2002 and has also noticed a significant shift in her seasonal allergies.
I just don't remember it being this bad.
Rising temperatures associated with climate change are the culprit, exacerbating existing health problems.
It can't be ignored anymore.
Samantha Adut is a pediatrician and chair of the Virginia Clinicians for Climate Change.
Look up at the sky. Good job.
Dr. Adut sees the impacts of our warming environment every day in her office.
Oh, you're doing a great job. Allergies have always existed. Children have always gotten pollen allergies. But with warmer winters and higher concentrations of CO2 in the atmosphere, there's ample evidence now that pollen counts are rising.
According to the Environmental Protection Agency, the average length of the growing season in the contiguous 48 states has increased by more than 2 weeks since the beginning of the 28th century. And longer growing seasons mean longer allergy seasons.
Mine have gotten so bad till I'm seeing a pulmonologist now.
And the threats to our health stretch far beyond seasonal allergies. According to the World Health Organization, between 2030 and 2050, climate change is expected to cause approximately 250,000 additional deaths per year from malnutrition, malaria, diarrhea, heat stress, and so much more. And there is a growing list of climate-sensitive health risks, like respiratory illness, waterborne diseases, vector-borne diseases, foodborne diseases, injury and mortality from extreme weather events, and heat-related illnesses.
I'm having to counsel a lot of families that their kids shouldn't go outside because it's gotten very hot and often unsafe.
So you're feeling bad and trying to get some relief. Do you go to the ER, or is urgent care enough to help treat your allergies? Doctors recommend patients start with their primary care doctor or urgent care. Urgent care is designed to handle less serious illnesses, including things like allergies and sinus infections. If you are having trouble breathing, though, it may be an emergency that warrants an ER visit. And if you have an underlying condition like diabetes or cancer, experts say you should always seek emergency treatment at a hospital. If you do decide on an urgent care center, doctors recommend going to one that's affiliated with the hospital, so doctors can easily share records if you do end up having to go to the hospital.